Nevada, the great silver state and the gold. New tales of Nevada, the stories, people working hard to make a home. Old tales of Nevada.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We've got a great show in store for you today. We have a gem of a publication here in Nevada that everybody should have in their home, and we're going to tell you why right after this.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Mint, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. I'm to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang series, which depicts the wild Mustangs herd running free, mare and its foal, the wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Welcome, everybody, to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show. We're here at the Marshall Mansion in the museum room, as Uroy calls it. And next to me is Uroy Marshall, the executive producer of our show, Old Tales of Nevada, and my sidekick and co-host. So, Uroy, welcome back to the show. We've had a long hiatus here.
I know it.
You being down in Arizona and so on.
I had to get down to Arizona to do a few jobs.
Well, good to have you back and be on the show again. And so happy to have our special guest today, Janet Geary, who is the publisher of our very own Nevada magazine that's published right here in the state of Nevada. And like I said in the intro, every resident in Nevada should have this in their home every month, right?
Well, thanks for having me, and I totally agree with you, John. Everybody needs one.
Yeah. Well, there's a great story behind this magazine. It goes a long ways back, and we want to get into that in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, Janet, we're going to go back to you, Roy.
Yes.
Because you, Roy, tells us why we do the show, and as he explains it, you're going to see that we have a very similar mission between what you do on the magazine and what we do here on the show. Wonderful. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Roy, here for a moment.
Very true, very true. Your mission is our mission. And the main mission is to get out the history of Nevada, the important community leaders that we've had in the past, who we have today, and all of us make a mark upon the earth. But in the state of Nevada, there was a big mark made by the Comstock miners who funded the payments off of the Civil War debt, which allowed the United States to get started. And in addition, we developed the first dollar at Carson City Mint, which became the main staple funds for the change for the circulation of gold money, which had no small enough amount. Right. So we have a tremendous amount of historic things that have happened here, and the Nevada magazine, when it started and during whatever history that it has in the future, can be a major help in regards to our missions together to spread the history and pictures of the history, which is really great. We tried this for how many years on the radio?
Oh boy, we did about a year on the radio, and then we realized
no pictures.
Don't do well on the radio.
So
I remember it was my fish story about Pyramid Lake. I was talking about how big my fish was, and I couldn't show it, so that made the move to TV right there. But
and they have fantastic pictures, and the only other comment I'd like to make about it is that I was a major funder of the development of the Arizona Highway magazine.
Really?
And I've collected it since its origins, and the people that are involved in that, they're not just highway folks. They're really involved with the state.
They are, yeah. Win Holden, do you know Win?
Yeah,
the
that's kind of where, if your magazine can get to that status.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, and whatever, and it's looking good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very nice magazine.
Yeah, started in 1982?
No, way back before that.
1936.
Oh, 1936.
We're going to get into that whole history here in just a minute.
You were close.
I want to focus on.
I'm way off on that one.
I want to focus on you for a few more minutes, though, because you are doing some great things up there on the Comstock, and we have developed a video about it, and we're been talking about it, and we're still developing the scientific standard for it. But tell us what it is, Roy.
Well, I was kicking around on top of the over dump one day and ran into the idea that I was sick of having all these rocks on top of my tunnel down below, so I thought I'd send a few of them in for assay just for kicks. And one came back 1.5, and the other came back 2.5 ounces of platinum per ton. So then we began to research the area, put in a drill hole there, had 700 feet of platinum showing there, averaging 0.27 ounces per ton. And then we started to look underneath every bush to the north, outside of town, and within 3 to 5 feet we find blue clay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So blue clay is everywhere over there, and it's full of platinum. And the old timers hated it, and they threw it all in the dump. So we have about 10 million tons of it in the dump.
It's pretty amazing stuff.
So
Wow.
They just didn't have the technology back
Well,
then.
no, that's true. Yeah,
So
they didn't.
They just discarded it, and yet
Right.
here it is, full of this rich ore, like
my
platinum,
goodness.
gold, silver,
And it's
whatever.
just very, very unusual specimens, like I was showing you
Yes.
before. They're twisted, almost meteoric-looking rocks that have characteristics of very few rocks that I've seen really anywhere before.
Yeah, I've never seen the rocks with this kind of...
the old timers would talk about, find the rocks that have the bug holes. Well, look at the size of that hole.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's more like a bumblebee hole.
Yeah, hold that up so the camera can see that, too, Roy. There.
In there, you can see it.
This one's amazing.
Very strange
Isn't that amazing
shapes.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you, Roy,
unusual stuff. It'll take us a while to analyze this area and to develop it.
you really get it, honed down to we know exactly what's there and the scope of it and so on.
That's why
so
we
forth.
haven't want to make a big public thing out of it.
But hopefully in the next couple of months we are going to make a big splash about it, and I know Nevada Magazine is interested in that.
Absolutely.
And then besides that, Roy also has his 2 retail situations up there. He's got the Marshall Mint, where you can go in, and he has a museum set up like this. You can see a lot of the raw specimens of special rocks, and then you walk across the hall and you can see it all finished in nice jewelry. And then you got the Silverland Inn and Suites, right? You right?
Yeah.
And what's that number?
847-4484. I'll
you
make
go.
a reservation.
That's right. Now it's still in the winter hours, right, up there?
Yeah.
So Friday through Sunday you're open, but a great place to take your honey, like you said. Okay. Very good, very good. So let's reintroduce Janet Geary. She's the publisher of this beautiful magazine that I hold in my hand here, and this is something that you have been doing for the last 10 years.
10 years, yes.
10 years.
Absolutely.
And let's find out about you a little bit here, Janet.
Right.
Are you a Nevada native or what?
Well, almost.
Almost. Okay.
I grew up in Las Vegas.
Okay.
My parents moved there in 51, and I was little in 51. So now everybody knows how old I am. But anyway, I was 3 years old when my parents moved to Las Vegas, and so that's where I grew up.
Okay.
And went to school there. I went to high school and college in Las Vegas, and I have 11 brothers and sisters, and we all grew up in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And most of them still live down there. I have a sister in Mesquite, a sister here, but most of them still live in Las Vegas. So yeah, I guess I could say I'm a native.
Yeah, I would qualify you as such. Yes, very good. And so you went to UNLV there, and then how did you get up into Reno and get involved with the magazine?
Oh wow! Well, I was my first 20 years, I was an investigator, an insurance investigator. Oh. So obviously had nothing to do with publishing. But I went to work at a company doing their safety, and it was a newspaper company. So I thought, I love this. I love the print. I love this. And this was 30 years ago.
The smell of the ink.
Oh,
right?
I just loved it. And so I said, I want to work here. Yeah. And so I started out in sales and worked for them and went to another company. Anyway, got up here to Nevada I was working for the Statesman Journal in Salem, Oregon. Oh, okay. And they're part of the Gannett Group. Oh, sure. And they had the paper, the Reno Gazette Journal. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to move back to Nevada. My husband was from Nevada, me. And so I said, I'm going to see if they have something open in Reno. And they had a training officer's job, a training position. And so we decided to come back down. Super. I only worked there for about 6 months, and then I went to work at the Nevada Appeal for 10 years. And then ever since, I've been, they made me a publisher at the Record Courier in Minden, Gardnerville. And so that's when I became a publisher, and that's been, 15 years ago, I guess. Yeah. And then I found this job here at the Nevada Magazine. Been there for 10 years.
Now, what does a publisher do? We hear about editor-in-chief.
Yes,
we hear about publisher. I always get those titles mixed up.
Everybody does.
I think
get called
it's one
the
and the
editor
same,
a lot.
but they're not. They're separate.
No, they're not.
So
absolutely.
the publisher is responsible for what in any publication?
The publisher is the business person, basically, but we do everything. We help plan the story, budget. But we do mostly a lot of financial stuff. Make sure that the publication is paying its bills. Right. I assign stories and photos and things like that. Okay. The editor writes the stories, and the associate editor, they go out and write the stories. Okay. I do a lot of history too because that's my passion. Yeah. So I do a lot of research history-wise. A lot of it done with the magazine because we've been in publication since 1936.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, 82 years this year, and we were dormant for about 2 years during World War II. Mm-hmm. But other than that, we've published every single year since 1936. Yeah.
So you've been publisher for all these 10 years?
Not 1930. No, not since 19.
No, just 10 years of that.
It feels like it, but no.
But it was interesting as I read about the history of the magazine. It started in 1936. Mm-hmm. I believe that or not? Mm-hmm. 1936, and it was originally produced not by the Historical Society or whatever. No. Tell us who were the first.
It was Highways and Parks. Actually, the magazine was called Highways and Parks. It was Nevada Highways and Parks was the name of the magazine. And the reason they actually started it in...
I have those.
You have the old ones?
Yeah.
The 1936, because that's when the roads really started being developed in Nevada, as well as the parks. And they wanted people to get out. People were buying cars, and people were becoming mobile. Yeah. So they said, okay, well, we want to make a magazine that people can know where the new roads are, where the parks are.
Because there weren't very many roads.
No, there weren't.
In fact, the cover of that first magazine, as I looked at it, I'm saying, who wants to be on that road? It must have been the Lincoln Highway or something?
Actually, the first cover was. Okay. And so, like I say, and then it just developed over the years, and it got away from the highways in about 1970 and went to the economic development. The magazine went under economic development. Okay. And it was there until 1985, and then now it's under the tourism, under Nevada tourism.
So the original purpose, I guess, was to get people to come to Nevada and for tourism, or just to get them from one end of the state to the other?
Basically, it was...
Recreate, okay.
It was just within the state. They didn't go beyond the state, but everybody in the state of Nevada got a magazine. So it encouraged them to go out and travel.
I'm thinking, what major roads would have been? I think Lincoln Highway.
Yes.
Okay. And then what would have been the north-south route? Would it have been 95 back in those days, in 36?
I have those on the Savage.
I know.
Yeah, I was going to say there was there was a Reno Las Vegas route, but Las Vegas wasn't much back in 1936.
No, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't much
happening. There wasn't really. This was the area up here. The Reno area was really the biggest.
That, just before World War One, or is that
36?
36 was after World War One.
After between World War One
and World War Two. Yeah.
So it must have been very primitive roads, very primitive.
Yeah. There wasn't. Well, the first photos we see are like Model A's and stuff that are on the roads. On roads.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of them weren't paved, obviously, so
No.
they were just dirt roads, and so a lot of our old photos are are really
most
rustic.
of the trees that you see in Reno have been planted. So I mean,
Yes.
come on, it was all high desert up there.
Yes, exactly.
But I guess the people came in or were crossing Nevada to get into California, or maybe Californians were coming into Tahoe for recreation.
Yeah, they
and
weren't
then,
stopping a whole lot in Nevada at that time, and that's what we were trying to encourage people to do back then.
Yeah, okay, I got you. So I don't know where we are in time because I can't see the timekeeper. We're done? We got it. We're over time. So I figured we were. So we better take a break here, Janet, and we'll come back with more Old Tales in Nevada right after this.
Thank you.
Buy Nevada First Gift Shop and Visitor Center at the Reno Town Mall is the place to buy local Nevada-owned products. There is over 4,000 square feet of unique items to choose from. Art, jewelry, books, music, inventions, clothing, candy, pottery, toys, even Nevada-made wine and more. Why, you can even purchase a gift basket full of Nevada-owned products. Buy Nevada First Gift Shop, located at the Reno Town Mall, 4001 Virginia Street in Reno. Buy local first.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us.
Somewhere in Time is a place to find what will be treasured for all time. A store full of the unexpected. High-end die-cast models, vintage and antique furniture, Fenton glassware, kerosene lamps, toy trains, vintage neon, a new home decor selection, brothel and casino memorabilia, jewelry creations, and cameras in large collections throughout the store. Bring the family and find the unexpected that will be treasured for all time at Somewhere in Time on Virginia Street in Reno. Boutique Elegante's Winter Super Sale is on now. Get 30 to 50% off all winter fashion, sizes up to 4X. Shop while the selection is great. That and so much more at Boutique Elegante, Lakeside Court in Reno. Boutique Elegante's Winter Super Sale is on now. Get 30 to 50% off all winter fashion, sizes up to 4X. Shop while the selection is great. That and so much more at Boutique Elegante, Lakeside Court in Reno. We're back here in Old Tales in Nevada, past and present, and we're having fun talking with Janet Geary, who is the publisher of Nevada Magazine, one of our special publications here in the state, if not the most special.
I would say so, yeah.
and the reason is, for us, is that it just focuses not only on tourism, but the history of this great state of Nevada, and that is our mission as well.
Absolutely.
So it's nice to have this collaboration, and hopefully this can be the beginning of some really good things between Nevada Magazine and Old Tales in Nevada.
Oh, absolutely. That would be wonderful.
Jen, I think we really are. Our show is the only show that does an audio as well as a video history of Nevada. So it's kind of very special.
Political.
And it's not political.
No, exactly. No, we're not political either.
Yeah, and we're archived in the Historical Society's storage area up there, and with special collections.
Wonderful.
So 275 episodes so far. So the 8 years of effort on our part to bring history to Nevada, and your magazine, 82 years.
82 years, absolutely.
You know what really thrills me when I look at the history of the magazine, Janet, is the wonderful cover pictures you have.
Yeah.
You know, like this one. This is your current magazine,
No,
right?
this is our current
one. Oh, this is the current one.
That's the one January, February issue.
January, February. Okay. Well, I know this area. This is the Comstock, of course, and this is where the tracks for the V&T.
Yeah, we're going right into number 6 tunnel.
And we were mentioning to you that the number 6 tunnel was right beyond there, but it's been covered over, and there's been efforts to reopen it.
Yeah.
But what a historic picture that is.
Very historic.
And as I look
Lovely.
at all of the magazines and I go through the covers one after another, they have fabulous colors. The black and whites back in the day.
Those were amazing. Some of them, actually, we had a gentleman that collected our magazine, and he had every issue. And we didn't have every issue for a long time. We thought we did, but he'd call me and he'd go, "No, you don't have them all." I'd say, "Well, I have 2 from 1936." He said, "Well, there was 4." And so anyway, he passed away unfortunately about a year ago, and he left us his magazines in his will.
Oh, nice.
So we drove down to Vegas and picked them up. And he did. He had every single one and had really taken care of them.
Yeah.
So now we do have them all.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see some of the old editions. They were really small and, of course, black and white.
Black and white, but well taken.
Yeah,
well
they
taken.
really were. Really good pictures, even though they were old.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you, the purpose of the magazine as it started and as it moved forward into time, up to your time, the purpose of the magazine has sort of changed, right? In some ways, dramatic ways.
Yes,
right.
it has.
Tell us.
The first 20 years was all about highways and the parks, the state parks. But then it changed. It got it changed when it went into economic development, and then it was more of a business. It almost had a business flavor to it. A lot of people opening new businesses and things, and then it went into the tourism.
Okay.
And but to me, and our mission is to educate the people of Nevada and people coming to Nevada about the history, the heritage, of Nevada, and where we come from, where we're going, and that's really what our purpose is. Our goal is.
Isn't that really the draw for people to, if they're on a vacation or they're thinking about moving to an area, they want to know about the richness of the state, the history of the state, don't they?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, especially our state. I mean, the Nevada, and maybe I'm prejudiced because I've lived here most of my life, but Nevada is so unique in its history. Don't you think so, Henry?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, really.
The history
so
and the entrepreneurs. Yeah. The type of people that live in Nevada.
Exactly.
So
and the type, the people that came here back in, 1850s and the true pioneers and the Mormons that built Genoa, and all those things are so different than just about anywhere in the whole United States. So we try to tell that story. Every issue has at least 2 history stories in it, and that's that's what I like to do, is the history. In fact, our newest issue, we have and you might know this story, Hugh Roy, about the Bullfrog Mine.
Oh, sure.
See, the two guys that wanted to build a railroad to the Bullfrog Mine, and one of them is Borax Smith, who was the 20 Mule Team Borax guy,
okay.
and the other is Clark, who is Clark County, and they fought each other building a railroad up to the Bullfrog mining area. It's really, really interesting to read it, and all the there's a lot of intrigue and and
I've got that property.
Oh, do you really? Oh my goodness! Well,
there you go.
The story is amazing.
We call it our Bullfrog Project.
Do you really? Well, we have the old Bullfrog map in that issue.
In this issue,
there's a picture. Yeah. We actually had to get it at UNR, but there's a picture of the Bullfrog map in there, and like I say, it's just a really intriguing story.
Yeah.
And so I love the history stories, and that's what I do.
What I like about your magazine, it's got a lot of pictures.
Yes.
Inside and out. Makes it an easy read, and you have it all labeled up nicely so people can identify where they're at. That's just a wonderful thing. Do you have a challenge now with the digital age, right? And hard copy versus web, and all that kind of thing. Does it make it challenging for you do you have to be on the web with your magazine?
Oh, absolutely.
You do. Okay.
Oh, yeah. You can't, you can't survive in this, climate without having a web presence. Okay. And of course, our readers our average reader of the magazine is in their early 50s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, everybody that's in the millennial age or they're online.
They're online.
My son is he never has picked up, I think, a print piece in his whole life because he's always been online.
Yeah.
And so, for us to get those kind of readers to be interested in the magazine, we have to have online presence. So we have a lot of our stories online, not all of them, but then we also have what we call web extras.
Okay.
And they're stories stories that we didn't have room for in the magazine, or that a lot of archives of old stories and from the old magazine.
Make new collectibles, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then they think, well, I'm going to collect it, then I'll subscribe to it.
Well, and that's what we hope, is that, you know, that will get us readers. Of course, we have Facebook as well, you know, because a lot of the younger people are on Facebook. So we put a lot of information on there about our magazine and events and things like that, hoping that we'll get those people also to come to our website.
That's really fabulous,
subscribe.
because I was talking to a young person the other day, Millennia, and she was saying she had just come to Nevada, and she was really curious about the area, and she was looking for historical stories, and that's why she would watch our show.
Sure.
So now we have another resource that people can go to, because I don't know how you market the magazine, if you do it on TV, radio, that sort of thing, to get the word out that this is a resource to find out about Nevada, you know?
Well, we would love to market our magazine. Unfortunately, we're what's called an enterprise fund within the state of Nevada. What that means is we're self-funded. We do not get money from the state, so we have to make money to market our magazine. So,
I see.
You know, it's a when we have money, we market. When we don't have money,
you don't market.
We just pay our bills.
Yeah, that's kind of the situation with most of us, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we do the best we can. We do a lot of trade out advertising and things like that with radio stations and things like that to get the word out.
Yeah, and now you have us to help you too.
Absolutely. Thank you.
In fact, we should have a TV spot for you on the show. I mean,
that
since
would be
our
wonderful.
missions are
We would love that.
Our missions are so close. But the reason I'm a little distracted is our timer is not working today. That's one of the things we always have to worry about on the show. You know, is we only have so much time. We can't add another page.
Yeah. No.
So you are the driver. I'm kind of curious now. When you do a magazine, do you have like groups? You have your 7 employees sit around the table and say, okay, what do you think we ought to do for April? What do you think we ought to do?
No, we're way far ahead when it comes to that. We do a story budget session once a year, and we kind of pick a theme. Last year our theme was museums.
Okay.
The year before was state parks.
Okay.
This year it's railroads.
Okay.
So that kind of gets us started, and then we start picking stories to go in with that, and then we also have things where people submit to us, I've got a great, story on such and such, and then we will, kind of fill in the budget.
Okay,
with
so
that.
you have a whole yearly theme that you're focusing on. That's why, therefore,
there you go. That's why the little trains up above.
The little train up there, yeah. Well, we spend a lot of time on our show talking about, for example, the V&T.
Yes.
But as we know, Nevada was full of short lines and things like that.
Absolutely, and the short gauge railroads and the narrow gauge, and I mean they've had, some of the towns just had a railroad. They'd have a small engine that pulled things up from one side of town to the other because of the height and things like that. So there was a lot of narrow gauge railroads.
I don't think there's
there.
ever been a railroad that went truly from north to south or from east to west, right? Other than the Union
Amtrak,
Pacifics.
It was 1859. In fact, it's coming up on the anniversary in 2019, the 150th of the Transcontinental Railroad,
right?
It did go through Nevada.
It did.
So it does. It did go through Nevada, and so it it met in Utah, Promontory Point, of course, and so we're doing our magazine to promote the 150th anniversary.
Actually, the Railroad Museum is rebuilding a car that was taken to Promontory Point. From what I understand.
The museums are part of our department now.
Yeah, super duper.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, let's take a break here. So hopefully we're on time, and we'll come back for another segment on Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Boutique Elegante's Winter Super Sale is on now. Get 30 to 50% off all winter fashion, sizes up to 4X. Shop while the selection is great. That and so much more at Boutique Elegante, Lakeside Court in Reno. Boutique Elegante's Winter Super Sale is on now. Get 30 to 50% off all winter fashion, sizes up to 4X. Shop while the selection is great. That and so much more at Boutique Elegante, Lakeside Court in Reno.
Hi, I'm Chris from Past Time at Somewhere in Time. Are you looking for that one-of-a-kind gift that you can't find in the big department store? I have something for all occasions. Got stuff? Need to know whether or not it has value or how to sell it? We can help with that too. Come and see me Tuesday or Wednesday at Past Time in Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street in Reno. Just ask for Chris.
Deluxe Travel, locally owned and operating since 1991, is the home for travel to Mexico and Central and South America. The crew at Deluxe Travel is bilingual, trustworthy, thorough, and caring. They will do everything possible to make your dream vacation the best it can be. Now is the time to book for winter travel, so stop by the office at 100 California Avenue or call 686-7000. You can also check us out on our website at deluxetravelLTD.com.
At Deluxe Travel, we sell dreams. Come in and plan yours.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Mint, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. Come to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang Series. Which depicts the Wild Mustangs herd running free, mare and its foal, the Wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
Welcome back to Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. With us today is Janet Geary, the publisher of this wonderful magazine, our magazine for the state of Nevada, called Nevada Magazine.
Yeah.
And with me also, of course, as usual, our executive producer, Hugh Roy Marshall, my sidekick, my co-host, who's been a traveling man over the last couple of weeks. Actually traveling and also doing some business because you were at shows. And some of the things you bought are actually in display behind you there, like that big old ruby piece.
Yeah,
is that right?
Fairly large ruby crystal.
Yeah.
Time,
And you bought some stuff because you're looking forward to opening the new store down at the Reno Town Mall, which will make it very convenient for people to get their gold and silver and all those special type items that the Marshall Mint has on display down there. So a lot of great things happening amongst all of us here. So we want to continue our discussion though, about the magazine. Another curiosity I have. Okay. So you develop your theme for the year, okay? And so you only have 7 employees paid.
Yes.
Okay. And that
He
makes
keeps reminding me. Huh?
that makes it. How often does this come out? This is
every other month.
Every other month.
6 times a year.
And it's 32 pages?
No,
80
80
pages, right.
Yeah.
So evidently you have people who sell.
Yeah, we have one salesperson, and she sells all of the advertising in the magazine.
Wow.
We have an editor and an associate editor. They're the ones that write the majority of the stories or edit the stories as well. Then we have 2 production staff, our art director and then our senior graphic artist, and they're the ones that design and design the magazine, design the cover, get all the photos and things like that.
Sure.
And so that's basic. Oh, and then we have a circulation manager who handles the subscriptions for the magazine. So
and
that's all we have.
Get it all organized.
Yeah. It's
you multitask, in other words.
Exactly. And then there's me, and I just do a little of everything. When the subscription manager's gone, I take subscriptions.
You do whatever.
So whatever it takes to get it out.
So now, so you're down. You're located in Carson City.
Yes.
Okay. But if there's a story in Vegas, you have to send your crew out there, right?
Well, not necessarily. I was telling you, Roy, we don't do a lot of stories from Vegas.
Okay.
Southern Nevada, yes. Pahrump, Boulder City, Hoover Dam, those kinds of things. But normally, if there's and we don't do mostly time-sensitive stories.
Okay.
Ours are more interesting about what's going on. So we'll either get someone down in Vegas to write the story and take the photos, a stringer, or our usually once an issue, the editor and associate editor take a trip, and they go to wherever they're going to write about and gather information, gather photos, and talk to the people and things like that. But we don't like, oh my gosh, there's a really great story here, and we run down there. We just don't have the staff
don't have that
for that.
kind. It's not that kind of magazine.
No,
anyway.
it's really not.
It's not
no.
time sensitive.
No, exactly. It's not Time magazine,
which is really good. We have that same challenge because we have a small crew. We'd like to do more location shots, but if you're going to go out of town to make it effective, you have to probably do a number of stories, right?
They do. They do a number of stories. They take a number of photos. They look for other people that are interesting that might want to write a story. So they went to Cowboy Poetry in Elko a month in January. I guess it's January.
Now that's I always wonder, why do they do that festival in the middle of January?
It's crazy
on a cold winter time in Elko. Elko can be very, very cold.
But they do an amazing job, I'll tell you. With a small town like that, they get 10,000, 12,000 people into that little town, and it's a real party. But they went up there for that, and then they circled around and went to Austin, and they and Elko, and they did a lot of stories while they were up there. They went to the park. What am I thinking of?
The National Park?
National Park.
Oh, yeah, that's gorgeous. Where they have those...
Great Basin. I'm sorry.
Great Basin.
Basin. And they went up there to the Great Basin, and so, got a lot of photos there.
It's right outside of Ely.
Exactly.
And a great mining area as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it? Copper over there, isn't it?
Copper, silver, and gold. Yeah.
Copper, silver, and gold.
Kennecott Copper.
Yes.
I've done some stories on Kennecott and the old, Kennecott mills up there.
That place seems to me is just out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, it is. It is.
Very cold.
Very cold. What is it, about 7,000 feet out there?
Yeah, it's higher, so it's colder.
Yeah, it's really cold out there, but it's a neat little town. And,
it is a neat
well, it's worth the trip. You get on Highway 50, take the loneliest road, and goes through Austin and Eureka and all those areas and travels over to Ely. But once you get there with that beautiful park, I mean, it's definitely a
Great
beautiful
Basin
trip.
is amazing. I mean, if you haven't been there, especially in the summertime, I'm not a big fan of the winter roads up there, but the summertime, and they do heli-skiing up there too. I mean, they actually take people up on helicopters and have them ski down the mountains up there. So I mean, they reinvent themselves all the time.
So for your own interest, what's your favorite kind of story to put into the magazine? Where does your passion go as far as history goes?
Oh gosh, I love the mining. I love the trains. The people. I've read a lot of historical novels on the people that actually were here at that time. I love that kind of just about anything. Our history is, like I say, it's so unique, but it's really fun to read, and the people were so hardy. I think about that now, and I get in my car and I go, gosh, my air conditioning isn't working very good. I'm turning it up. I'm thinking these people, they trekked across the desert with nothing. And so they were hardy bunch.
Remember that story about Snowshoe Johnson?
Thompson.
Who delivered Thompson, excuse me.
Snowshoe Thompson.
Who trekked across the Sierra with the mail.
In fact, we have a story in this magazine. See Snowshoe Thompson?
Right here on this one?
Yeah, in that one.
There you go. How about that? Talk about timeliness. I didn't even know that.
He never got paid. The whole time he did that, he worked for the U.S. government and never got paid. And walked back and forth between over the mountains for 10 years.
And wasn't he the individual? I don't know if that's just a story or if it's actually fact, but he's the one that took the blue clay and took it back across the Sierra to California to get it assayed.
Oh, it's very possible. I've never heard that story
that's
before.
That's how they found
but it's
the
very
silver.
possible.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, he was an
somebody
amazing
told us
man.
on the show.
Assayer named Atwood in Truckee.
Oh, is that what it was?
Well, that's where he used to go. He was, but I never heard about the blue clay.
He took it off the hill and had it assayed
right?
and found out that it was full of silver. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a story for you
Well,
right
yeah,
there.
exactly. Like you say, they've got a big monument.
Any
for
story
him,
that you got
him.
involved with where you really were surprised by?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that you are so amazed at why they did it and how they turned out. I think the Comstock, the way that it, like Hugh was saying, financed. That Lincoln, was so much a part of our our battle-born history, and for them to just give him all this silver that they were taking out of the mines, and I'm sure they didn't get anything back other than maybe a receipt. I'm not even sure if they got that.
They got the statehood.
Exactly, but that and I mean they're
they were pro-union basically.
Yes,
and out in
they
our
were.
area in Ione out there, it's called the Union Mining District because Ione, Berlin, and Grantsville were all Union towns.
Union
Is that
soldiers,
right?
Union.
But Nevada, a lot of them wouldn't make the choice. Didn't want to make the choice.
They wanted to be neutral.
No, that's true. But
wanted to be neutral.
Yeah.
Gold Hill, I think, was probably one time they had a gold. The gold miners there went on strike, and the owners of the mines couldn't get them to go back to work. So they actually went to the President of the United States at the time, and he called out the troops. I have photos.
That was
of
Goldfield, Nevada.
Goldfield.
Exactly,
Yeah.
in
Wow.
Goldfield.
Yeah.
And they called out the
Teddy
troops.
Roosevelt.
And Teddy Roosevelt, and they made them go back to work. And I mean, I have pictures where the tents are all set up and they're all in their uniforms and they've got their guns out and everything, to get those miners to go back to work.
Isn't that amazing?
And some of that stuff is just
and in the flash flood in the Goldfield area.
Oh yeah, we've got photos of that too. Can you imagine a flash flood in Goldfield?
Yeah, well, I could see how
Where's
that would
that?
happen with those hills in the background.
Yeah.
You get a heavy rain or whatever, and it all come through that. Canyon.
We've got some where there's a couple overturned buggies and some horses.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Floundering in the water.
See, that's what you can get is with the magazine, And like you said, these guys who get the magazine as a subscription, and like you, Roy, they just keep all the magazines.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful library of history.
Yes, it is.
A collection.
It's a collection magazine. So, we want to encourage people to look for this and be a subscriber. I don't think we even asked what does it cost to subscribe?
It's only $19.95 a year.
Wow.
Which is you can
Six
get
issues.
6 issues.
Wow.
You can get 3 years for $48.95. So it's a really inexpensive way to keep up with what's going on in Nevada and learn about the history, especially if you're a newcomer or just want to know about the history. of the state.
Yeah. Now, do you find that people will subscribe and send it out as a gift to their neighbors or relatives, probably, like back in the East Coast? Because, everybody back east. I'm from the East Coast. And when they think about Nevada, they think about one thing, Vegas. And the atomic bomb.
Oh, sure.
Testing and things like that. They don't get it. They don't have any idea.
Well, you go anywhere and you say, I live in Nevada. They go, oh, I love Las Vegas.
Yeah, right.
And, they think you're like...
Next door.
Exactly.
Yeah, they think Reno's next door to Vegas.
Exactly.
And we tell them, it's next door, 455 miles north.
Exactly. I get that all the time.
Yeah. So it's a great item as a gift item, I would think, for people outside the state.
Well, and, we do this calendar every year, too.
It's a beautiful calendar.
This calendar is all historical photos. And people actually order this from all over the world.
Super.
And this, most people, they give out free calendars. You think, why would people buy calendars? But they actually do. We have people in Australia that buy these calendars.
Super.
So,
let's take a break here. And I have a question. I want people to know that location that you're showing on that calendar.
Oh, okay, sure.
But we won't tell them now. We'll wait and come back for our last segment of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present.
Okay.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
Buy Nevada First Gift Shop and Visitor Center at the Reno Town Mall is the place to buy local Nevada-owned products. There is over 4,000 square feet of unique items to choose from. Art, jewelry, books, music, inventions, clothing, candy, pottery, toys, even Nevada-made wine and more. Why, you can even purchase a gift basket full of Nevada-owned products. Buy Nevada First Gift Shop, located at the Reno Town Mall, 4001 Virginia Street in Reno. Buy local first. Somewhere in Time is a place to find what will be treasured for all time. A store full of the unexpected. High-end die-cast models, vintage and antique furniture, Fenton glassware, kerosene lamps, toy trains, vintage neon, a new home decor selection, brothel and casino memorabilia, jewelry creations, and cameras in large collections throughout the store. Bring the family and find the unexpected that will be treasured for all time at Somewhere in Time on Virginia Street in Reno.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle with a biker's bike shop.
Deluxe Travel, locally owned and operating since 1991, is the home for travel to Mexico and Central and South America. The crew at Deluxe Travel is bilingual, trustworthy, thorough, and caring. They will do everything possible to make your dream vacation the best it can be. Now is the time to book for winter travel, so stop by the office at 100 California Avenue or call 686-7000. You can also check us out on our website at deluxetravelLTD.com.
At Deluxe Travel, we sell dreams. Come in and plan yours.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Mint, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. Come to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang series. Wish to picks the Wild Mustangs herd running free, mare its foal, the Wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City, or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
Boutique Elegante's Winter Super Sale is on now. Get 30 to 50% off all winter fashion, sizes up to 4X. Shop while the selection is great. That and so much more at Boutique Elegante, Lakeside Court in Reno. Boutique Elegante's Winter Super Sale is on now. Get 30 to 50% off all winter fashion, sizes up to 4X. Shop while the selection is great. That and so much more at Boutique Elegante, Lakeside Court in Reno. We're back here in Old Tales of Nevada for our last segment. It goes so fast.
It does,
you know?
huh?
I'm just amazed at how our hour just moves along so quickly. Janet, great job today telling us about the magazine. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And we want to continue to encourage people to become subscribers and support the magazine. We don't want that to go away.
Thank you.
And you guys are self-supporting.
Yes, we are.
You know, Enterprise Corporation
Enterprise Fund is what they call us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you have to take care of your own needs.
You bet we do.
You know, but this is a fabulous picture here on your calendar for 2018. I'm familiar with it because we had somebody else on the show that had a picture of this, not in this scope, but tell people the location of that.
That's Reno.
That's Reno.
That is actually during the Johnson-Jeffries fight. Wow. That was people getting on and off the train going to the fight in Reno. The Johnson-Jeffries fight. Yeah. I believe it was 1905, I think.
You know,
was it?
Something like that.
Okay, I don't remember for sure, but I believe it was 1905. But that was one of the most famous, fights in history of the United States.
Huge.
And it was a big fight, and people came from all over, and that's how they got there.
Do you know the promoter of this fight? Was originally, he's from San Francisco, okay, and they canceled the fight there because they for whatever reason.
Yes.
I can't remember the old details. But anyway, brought it to Reno and promoted this thing and did it in a short amount of time. But you know where this guy ended up? The promoter? He was the general manager of Madison Square Garden in New York City.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
that.
Yeah,
it's quite the story, you know.
Yeah, they were going to have it in San Francisco.
Yeah, you got to start with this. Yeah. He became a very famous fight promoter.
That's the depot right in Reno.
Right in Reno.
It is. It's the Reno. Yeah, it's the depot in Reno.
Yeah.
Right in Reno.
So this is just one of the pictures. Now I see in the back of the calendar, you have all the other.
We do all the photos, and we tried to put on the calendar this year. We put a states, and so that people could see where those photos were actually from, because we wanted them to. A lot of times we'll do, like, there's one in there from 1905 when Las Vegas was selling their the plots of land. That's when Vegas became a town. They sold land in 1905. One of those is a train that was the bank for the Las Vegas sales of land. I think it's the one over on
number 5.
Yeah.
Number 5. Yeah. Okay.
And so that was that
right there.
Yes.
Oh, I see it right there.
And it was actually a bank in Las Vegas where they financed the sale of those plots of land that actually became Las Vegas.
And what was the name of that woman down there who was the famous real estate person? She actually owned the ranch.
Stewart Ranch.
Stewart Ranch, yes.
Helen Stewart.
Helen Stewart, the First Lady of Las Vegas.
Yes.
She talked about women in business, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, she was amazing.
She was an amazing real estate person.
Yes, she was.
And raised her kids because her husband was killed. Blah, blah,
she
blah.
had 2 husbands with the same last name, Stewart. But she was a widow for a long, long time. Yeah. And she did. And she did an amazing, job in Las Vegas. And so Stewart, there's a lot of Stewarts down in Vegas.
A lot of Stewarts down there.
Stewart.
So anyway, you can find those stories in the magazine,
yes,
or even on our show too, because we've had a story about that lady.
Okay.
Pretty amazing stuff. So what's the price on this?
They're $14. $14. And like I say, we sell them all over the world. People, and you can get them with a subscription. They're $10 if you get a subscription to the magazine. And and people actually cut those photos off of there after it's over, and they frame them. Yeah, we've got people that have
great idea. Here's an inside cover
for that's
what is
Ely.
that of?
That's Ely.
Oh, that's Ely.
Yeah, see the train up above?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see every one of them has a train in it, but that's Ely.
That's the place I was out in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, it is.
But where there's gold and silver and copper, there's going to be somebody doing something.
Absolutely. So every one of them, and we try to get them from all over the state. All the photos.
Yeah.
But this year with the trains, they're pretty much situated in. We had a hard time finding one in Vegas. And because they didn't have a lot of trains.
They didn't have trains. It was all mobiles and things and buses. So now, if I have a great story idea, right, and I want to make it known to you, is that possible? Or
sure.
Are you open to that kind of thing?
Absolutely. We're always looking. We're like you say, we're only 7 people, and we can't, cover the whole state and know what's going on and know what's coming up. And so we always encourage people to send in a story idea. We do a photo call every issue to say these are the stories we're working on. Would you, send us your photos that you have that are of interest?
Right.
We do a vision section in every issue of the magazine that we get photos submitted, and we put those in the magazine. But for stories, anybody can send or if they have a question, can you do a story on this, or can you answer this question? I get a lot of questions from people. They'll call me and they'll say, do you know da 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 da?
Yeah.
And I'll look it up if I don't know it for sure.
Do you have archives there?
Absolutely. We have all of our magazines are archived.
Oh, okay.
So I can go in and search the archives and look up the story.
And you guys are in Carson City?
We are in Carson City. Do you know where we're in the Paul Laxalt building, the big tall red building with the chimes, right next to the Carson Nugget. We have the bottom floor of that building. So anybody can drop by. We'll give them a nice tour of the building.
Now, do you print right in Carson City?
No, we don't. There's actually no printers that we can use in the state of Nevada.
Really?
We used to print a company in Reno, Quad Printing, but they went out of business. But because we do what's called a perfect bind, which we don't, there's no staples on our magazine, it has to be done by a certain kind of printing.
Okay.
We actually print these in Denver, Colorado.
Denver, at least it's in the USA. I know for a long time people were sending stuff to China.
Oh, yeah, it's cheaper. To print in China, but now I think with all the tariffs and taxes, I don't think. But we've never printed outside of the U.S. and we print in Denver, and it's like I say, we'd love to print in Nevada, but there's just no one that can print our magazine in Nevada.
So what we need is an entrepreneur to come to Reno and start a printing press again.
I don't think people do a lot more, are opening a lot of printing presses. A lot of them are consolidating because
Yeah.
print is, expensive, and it's, with everything online, it's, it's tough to find a way to pay for yourself that way.
Yeah. Do you find that you have to make your stories more to the point, not as flowery, perhaps, as, say, in the old days, when you compare your 1936 magazines with your modern-day magazine?
Yeah, they're not anywhere near like that. But we do, well, in fact, some of our old magazines were one story, and they just went on and on and on and on.
Yeah, right.
But with us, we're very modern in our writing, but we try to tell the whole story.
Yes,
So we don't we don't do it in bullet points or anything. So we try to make it as interesting as possible.
Well, that's good. That's good. But I think people, because of time and energy and whatever else is going on in their lives, they want to know, but they want to know in a fairly efficient
Well, with
fashion.
ours is more like reading a book.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to come to this great, ending. It's like just the story itself.
Story. You get to the meat.
Unfolds and so I think people like the longer stories.
Yeah. So subscription is $19.
$19.95.
$19.95.
Exactly.
And like I encouraged in the beginning, I think
Thank you.
every home in Reno should have
every home in Nevada.
Every home in Nevada.
Absolutely.
So if we did that, because your circulation right now is
20,000,
and that population of Nevada is a million.
About 3.5 million.
3.5 million.
Last count. So we don't have very many people.
You have
so we would love
you have
to
a lot of room for growth.
We do, absolutely. But Vegas is one of the areas that we don't see a lot of circulation from there because, like I was telling you, right, most of our stories are northern Nevada and the rurals. And something about Vegas, they don't consider themselves, I think, part of Nevada itself.
They don't.
And they don't, they're not as interested in the history and the rurals and stuff. A lot of people are new to Nevada and they live in Las Vegas. So if we could just get all the rural people and the Reno people to
that's a million people.
Subscribe,
you count Elko
we would be
and
thrilled with that.
Yeah, Elko, Reno, Carson City.
Exactly.
So there you go. We're going to give an assignment to our viewers to supplement our wonderful program with this wonderful magazine.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to get 2 subscriptions from you, one for here, one for the hotel.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Ilroy. That always helps. Thank you.
Well, how do I get a subscription? How do you do it?
You can go to our website, nevadamagazine.com.
Okay.
And click on subscribe, and you can put your credit card information in there and sign up.
I'll do the same thing.
And we appreciate it if you would do that. Or you can call our circulation manager. Her name's Carrie Roussel.
Okay.
And her number is 775-687-0610.
Okay.
And she's a lovely girl, and she'd be more than happy to help sign anybody up for the magazine.
And the website is what now?
nevadamagazine.com.
Yeah, I was on there. There was a number of choices because you have different. You have the calendar and
yes, there's a lot
so
of
it shows
things
up different ways.
The book, we have
home.
a historical book that we did with calendar photos, and we have a poster that was done by our art director. That's a beautiful picture of Nevada. I should have brought you one. I'll get you one, but they're gorgeous. And so we have a couple of things for sale that help support the magazine.
Yeah, so that those pictures, that historical, is that all the covers that you're showing?
No, actually you can go online and look at all the covers.
I saw it. That's where I went.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we always put our covers in there because people like to look back and see. Some of the covers are really interesting.
The only thing that was lacking, I couldn't tell where it was from.
And we didn't, we had, we have 4 Bonanza covers, which were our most favorite covers of all time. People love the Bonanza covers. But our most favorite cover of all time was the Misfits.
Oh, okay.
We actually had a great photo of Marilyn Monroe and Clark Gable from the Misfits.
Yeah.
In fact, I only have 2 issues of that. People still ask for that one all the time.
We have a show on that, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's archived at the Historical Society. So, Janet, well, listen, you're doing a great job over there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
And we look forward to a great future and continued issues of the Nevada magazine coming out for us to enjoy. Hopefully we, as we continue our trek here in Old Tales of Nevada, we can do some things together.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Once we know what your theme is.
All right.
Then we could also play a role with you in
that would be wonderful.
Wouldn't that be super?
Absolutely.
So, but thank you, Janet, for coming and bringing your wonderful husband with you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Sitting through our recording today.
And he's used to listening
and
to
we
me
always
talk,
thank you, Roy, because he provides the funds for doing the show.
Oh, absolutely.
And we appreciate him letting us into this beautiful house to do the show. So for all the guests today that we have on the show, we want to express our thanks to the audience for watching the show and invite you back next week for another episode of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present.